We got big news confirmed directly by Tesla today. The head of Tesla Australia, Tom Drew, says there are no regulatory blockers to releasing FSD supervised in Australia. And Tesla investors are definitely celebrating. Alex says this is huge because this also puts more pressure on Europe to release FSD over there. And Omar agrees that this is definitely big. Soon we will have FSD in Australia and New Zealand, and this will be the first market that's a right-hand drive market for FSD. So it will be interesting to see how performance differs. And even though Tesla has not released the date for the FSD launch, the investors basically are thinking, yeah, it's going to happen anyway, so therefore we should make Tesla stock go up today. And if you like Tesla stock going up, make sure to click the like button right now. Another reason why this is so good is because Tesla is basically proving that FSD is going to work in different markets, and not just in slightly different markets, but in markets where you literally drive on the other side of the road. So if FSD works pretty well over there, then this is just further proof Tesla is solving FSD and progress is being made. The head of Tesla Australia also said, "We are running through the final stages of validation prior to public release, looking to start with hardware 4 on certain vehicles and then release in phases from there." So it's coming very soon. I certainly will not be surprised if we see this done this summer. And check this out, it's happening. Tesla is hiring vehicle operators for FSD in Palo Alto ahead of the Robotaxi launch in California. So Tesla's Robotaxis are definitely launching in California soon as well, which is definitely good news. And then check this out, Tesla is texting some people in the US that signed up on the company's Robotaxi interest page about upgrading to a new Tesla vehicle in preparation for Robotaxi. Well, this is certainly something to watch and pay attention to. And then experts from Morgan Stanley now are basically saying that Tesla is right in its autonomy approach. A vision expert at a rival autonomous vehicle startup said, annoyingly, Elon is right. Talking about the pros and cons of using sensor fusion, so camera plus radar plus LiDAR versus Tesla's vision-only camera-based approach for its Robotaxi fleet. According to Adam Jonas from Morgan Stanley, he believes investors may be overlooking the potential benefits of Tesla's minimalist sensor approach, intentionally leaving out LiDAR to push the fleet toward a fundamentally different and more scalable way of learning. I would replace maybe to definitely are overlooking, and that has been going on now for years. It must be really annoying to bears that point out, oh yeah, Elon is late, Elon is late, Elon is late, Elon is late, as if somehow that completely makes him wrong always. And sure, Elon is late, but eventually he delivers. And these people that have been promoting LiDAR, they will be caught off guard again when it comes to Elon Musk. In the short term, often it looks like Elon is not right, but in the long term, it basically almost always works out like that. Not always, but more often than not. Although for now, Waymo is still putting up a pretty good fight while they still can. Waymo has just announced that it is expanding its Robotaxi geofence in Austin, Texas. I am pretty sure that the timing of this is not coincidental and that this is a direct response to what Tesla has done here. I don't think it's a good idea for me to show the whole shape because then I will probably get demonetized. But electric rides, Waymo outlengths Tesla. Elon's phallic Robotaxi map backfires in Austin's expansion battle. For now. Well, whatever happens to this video of mine, what is going to be whatever happens. But this is a very important piece of information for Tesla stock investors. So here you go. You can see that for now, at the moment, Waymo is a little bit bigger when it comes to its service area in the Metro Austin area. So Waymo more than doubled in size their geofence area, and I definitely agree. This is why competition is awesome, and I definitely do not doubt that Tesla is going to have a response to this. Sawyer predicted the response already. He highlighted the next expansion for Tesla, so yeah, this is actually very likely. Elon already probably got ideas. Oh wow, Sawyer is actually openly calling for it now. Now Waymo's rides are available only on Uber, so they are not using their own network in Austin, but Tesla has its own network. And by the way, now Waymo's geofence spans 90 square miles within Austin. They expanded from 37 to 90. And Tesla's current serviceable area within Austin is 42 square miles. But we have actually seen vehicles from Tesla clearly testing its Robotaxi technology or getting ready to expand the geofence area, because we've seen those vehicles in these nearby small cities or towns that are all pretty close to Austin, but not that close. So if Tesla deploys robotaxis to all of these areas, then Tesla's service area should then be bigger than Waymo's. But it's also not just how big the service area is, it's also about how many vehicles Tesla will deploy. But now, Waymo's total area with robotaxi service is about 700 square miles, and most of that is in Phoenix. And you know that Tesla is trying to get into Phoenix right now. And by the way, it only took Waymo 4 months to expand their map. It didn't take nowhere near as long for Tesla to expand. Also, with FSD supervised soon available probably in Australia, when do you think robotaxis are actually coming to Australia? It might be sooner than you think. But of course, Tesla will first expand in the US and will saturate all the markets in the US first, and only then probably they will really consider other countries. If you didn't know, this is Stephen Mark Ryan's backyard. He's from Australia. Also, Tesla must be releasing the new Model Y Performance soon, because we just saw it being tested in Germany again. And then Farzad made a video while being driven in robotaxis. He shared his robotaxi model for Tesla stock. Looks like it is pretty detailed. So here Farzad made some assumptions. Tesla with Cybercab at Uber in the US. So basically, if Tesla had as many robotaxis as Uber has vehicles right now, or drivers or rides, and that comes to about 1 million robotaxis. And here he has robotaxi to teleoperator ratio. That's at 1,000. He calculates monthly net profit per robotaxi, 12,900. Now, this scenario is not actually going to happen because there are going to be some competitors, and also Tesla will at first at least need to compete with Uber. So these prices are definitely going to come down and the numbers will not be as good. But this does show the potential of what would be if Tesla just did what Uber is doing today, but with robotaxis. And so if you look at the total net profit per year for robotaxi fleet. Keep in mind, this is if Tesla charges the exact same rates as Uber. The number is so huge that I had to pause a little bit and just double check that I'm not making a mistake. But this is actually $1.5 trillion. This assumes that Tesla would have 10 million robotaxis in operation. Now, of course, this is not going to happen because people are not going to pay the same price as they would for an Uber today, because right now people that are getting an Uber, they have to get an Uber. Uber is not really competing with car ownership, not really. So looking at 50% less than Uber's prices, which would just totally annihilate Uber. This, however, keep in mind, still assumes 10 million robotaxis. This would then produce about 635 billion. These are just absolutely insane numbers. Then at 80% less than Uber's prices, which I think is actually a lot more realistic, this comes down to $87 billion in profit per year. You put a PE multiple of 50 and the stock roughly 4x's from here, you put a stock multiple of 100x and the stock goes up almost 10 times. Keep in mind, this is just the robotaxi. This does not take into consideration Tesla vehicle sales or anything like that. And we're not even talking about the Tesla Optimus. Here are some assumptions that Farzad used in his calculations. His assumption is that the total cost per mile is going to be 37 cents to run a robotaxi. I am convinced that Tesla eventually is actually going to get this number even lower than that. If there is something that Tesla is really good at, it's cutting costs. I have no doubt that Tesla is going to be the lowest cost robotaxi provider in North America. And I believe that's by far the single most important thing to win this whole race. Now, interestingly, Uber is investing $300 million in the EV maker Lucid in a robotaxi deal that aims to start with one major US city late next year. Over 6 years, starting in 2026, Uber will acquire and deploy over 20,000 Lucid Gravity SUVs that will be equipped with autonomous vehicle technology from startup Neuro. Well, Uber tried autonomous vehicles before, and we're gonna try again. Let's see how this one goes. Now, Lucid is planning to deploy 20,000 of these vehicles over the next 6 years. I will certainly wish them good luck because they absolutely definitely need it. The weird part about all this to me is that they chose a very expensive vehicle to make this happen. Why wouldn't you just choose a vehicle that's not as expensive to do these robotaxi rides? It would be like Tesla choosing the Model X as robotaxi vehicle. That would make no sense. But anyway, just now they also announced, Lucid, that they will roll out hands-free highway driving this month. And then look at this, the new Model YL spotted on the road for the first time. Definitely looks bigger. Tesla China says this larger Model Y will be released this fall. Now, I thought about the letter L. I think it's not a great idea to put letter L next to something. But hey, in this case, L stands for large. In the meantime, Waymo is experiencing a bit of a loss here with its Waymo vehicle going in the opposite direction that it should on this particular road. Then Elon replied to this post from Tesla Economics here. Many fail to understand that the total addressable market of Optimus is the entire global labor market. To which Elon responded with, it's much bigger than that because everyone will want at least one Optimus personally. Who wouldn't want their own personal R2, D2, 3CPO? Then Tesla here said in a letter to the Trump administration officials in February that it had already agreed to buy graphite from US suppliers, but they have not yet shown the technical ability to produce commercial quantities of battery-grade graphite at the quality and purity required by Tesla and other battery cell manufacturers. And yesterday, the U.S. Commerce Department imposed preliminary anti-dumping duties of 93.5% on Chinese imports of graphite after concluding the materials had been unfairly subsidized. But keep in mind that graphite accounts for less than 8% of the cost of a battery, according to Panasonic. However, batteries are the most expensive components in an electric car. Doubling the cost of graphite could easily add $1,000 or more to the price of a battery. Well, with these tariffs in place, these domestic manufacturers will have to hurry up a little bit. The limiting factor account is even calling for Tesla to vertically integrate graphite into its supply chain as well. Tesla also just now launched quite a few incentives. So every new Tesla gets a $7,500 lease incentive, $1,000 off for American heroes. So that's a military discount. Free trial of 1 month of FSD. Tesla's also giving free full self-driving supervised transfer. So I like that. And then each model does get some additional incentives in at least these few cases. The Model S and the Model X, these two get the least extra promotions. You do, however, get one free upgrade, but that's only if you purchase FSD. But if you're getting a Model Y, it's certainly a pretty good time to buy. Also, a few days ago, there was a filing that indicated that there is a Model 3 Plus coming to China, which will have more range than any other Tesla Model 3 so far, so that's good. At first, then I saw it, I thought, oh, maybe the Plus means that it's going to be a bigger car, just like the Model YL, but no, this is just basically more range. Oh, Omar is pointing out the Waymo accident timeline. There are more accidents, but obviously, of course, there are also quite a few more Waymo cars, and their service area has also been expanded. Oh, by the way, getting back to Lucid for a second. So they want to deploy 20,000 Robotaxis, but Lucid's cumulative production since 2021 is just 31,000 vehicles. This is absurd. And by the way, the company that they are using to basically build their full self-driving capability, Neuro, actually, they do have a working prototype that's already operating autonomously on a closed circuit. How impressive. I don't see this turning out well for Lucid. They're basically just lighting out $300 million on fire. And interestingly, today, Lucid stock is down, while Tesla's stock, of course, is up. But if you look at when the news actually came out, the stock was up as much as 40%. Now it's up about 33%. Now looking at the short term, Garry Black says Uber continues to outperform Tesla. Year to date, Uber is up 51%, Tesla not up. As the race for autonomy heats up, the investment thesis for Uber is that Uber benefits most as autonomous tech advances, since it allows Uber to eliminate the cost of a driver from the cost of ridership, which could lower the price by half and significantly expand the total addressable market. For Tesla, mastering unsupervised autonomy could allow it to expand its robotaxi fleet, which, given vertical integration and manufacturing scale, allow it to undercut the cost of every other ride-hailing competitor if it can get to 99.99% efficacy, which of course it will. So I want to see how well Uber stock investors in the long term did. So I'll just put this to max. This only goes back to 2019 here on Google. And if you invested your money back then into Uber, you would have made a decent 117%, which is a lot less than over 1,500%. And I believe Tesla is going to do something very similar again. And the Uber, in the long term, I only see a lot of downside. In the short term, sure, maybe it could go up more. In the short term, could Tesla stock go down? Sure, but it could also go up. And in the long term, I'm convinced that Tesla is going to $1,000 per share, and then after that, well above it. Warren Buffett actually commented on the potential financial effects on Geico, which is an insurance company, if Tesla were to achieve full self-driving. If accidents get reduced by 50%, it's going to be good for society, and it's going to be bad for insurance companies' volume. But good for society is what we're looking for, he said. I think many of us, if not all of us, have someone who we know that got into an accident, got hurt, or maybe even passed away. And maybe some of you yourself, unfortunately, got into a car accident, and hopefully it wasn't too bad. But I know for some of you, it was pretty bad. And this technology is going to reduce a lot of that. Now, speaking of the Model 3 Plus, Tesla is actually planning to launch that in September, which is now expected to have the most range. Also, it will get a stronger or more powerful motor. It will only have one single motor, but it is going to have a little bit more power. And the Model YL is predicting that Tesla's actually going to launch the same vehicle basically in the US roughly at the same time too, as they will in China. I'm not so sure about that, but I'm certainly hoping that's true. It's a bit weird that at least for now, we are only hearing that this is going to have 6 seats only and not 7 seats. The space in the trunk though will be a little bit limited. Also, the speculation right now is, this is based on what we are hearing from Tesla actually, all 4 seats supposedly in the back are going to go down, which would give you a lot of trunk space if you need it. Tesla's patent for manufacturing paint-free vehicle body panels has just been revealed, and this will not only make Cybercat cheaper to produce, but also make it very cheap and easy to repair, although that will be an increasingly rare occurrence in a self-driving world, but it will still definitely happen sometimes. But the main thing is the maintenance costs overall, because if you do have paint, it will get scratched and maintenance is going to be a bit more difficult. Oh, and Tesla is also running some paid ads now on X again. Tesla Energy has been running ads for the last couple of years, but the company stopped running vehicle-related ads like the one below for a while, and now they have been resumed. Now, this is something that seems almost like out of a action-packed, futuristic, world-ending kind of movie. Here, what you can see is a humanoid robot changing its own battery. Now, this battery seems to be sort of modular, so even if you take out a part of it, the humanoid robot has energy. But this is quite something. Basically, these robots are going to be able to completely repair themselves too and maintain themselves. It'll be wild. Now, with Tesla human robots, they do not swap their batteries. I think it's just much smarter to just charge the batteries, especially because these batteries are not going to be that big, so they can be charged pretty fast. This is definitely, I think, overall a more efficient way to do things. These batteries are not that big, so having a few extra batteries is not going to be, I mean, the battery is not going to be the most expensive part of the whole robot, so getting an extra battery, it's not going to break someone's budget. Now, interestingly, German robots are taking over shipbuilding in Korea. By the way, did you know that Boston Dynamics is owned by Hyundai? And also, did you know that no Boston Dynamics robots are seen here? And it was Hyundai that picked these German bots to weld their ships. And then Elon has been speaking out about this particular subject, which is political, so we might see a lot more drama surrounding that. Overall, for Tesla stock today is definitely a good day. It is up a little bit, and I believe it is going to $1,000 per share. My name is Matt Postius. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I also post my videos on Rumble now, so watch me there if you prefer Rumble. And I will see you in the next video, probably on Monday.